Okay, welcome to February's Q&A Friday. I will say, if you follow me on Facebook and Instagram, I sort of update quite a lot when I'm going to do a Q&A and tell you where to submit your questions. So if you follow me on them, you'll know when one of these is coming up. So let's start with the questions. Okay, like most of my techniques with crickets, this particular one has been developed over some time, and I find that it's best not to disturb the crickets too much, otherwise they want to jump off the cardboard. So it's sort of about being quick but calm at the same time, if that makes any sense. So as you can see, I tip in all the stuff that comes in the boxes and then just place in the cardboard. Okay, so if your gecko is over 6 months, you can begin to introduce the odd waxworm here and there. And though these are full of fat, they should not be part of a staple diet. They're more like sweets. So the best thing to do is make sure that the feed insects you are feeding your gecko, whether they're roaches, mealworms, crickets or whatever, make sure they're gut loaded. So you're supplying them with a lot of fresh fruit, or maybe some people use bug gel or jelly pots, and also that you're supplying the correct amount of calcium and vitamins and the best environment so the temperature's correct and everything. If all of these are correct, then your gecko should start to fill out. Also, there's unfortunately quite a few examples out there where these geckos appear to have these massively chunky fat tails. But to be honest, I feel like this is more as unhealthy as having a thin tail, and it's just a bad representation of what a healthy gecko should look like. Leopard geckos can be surprisingly quick. They are a prey animal in the wild, and they've developed the ability to drop the tail. Now, if they didn't do that, they may have developed the ability to run quicker, because if a predator catches them, they will drop the tail. That will distract the predator and they can just flee the situation. If they didn't have that tail, then there's a possibility that they would have to evolve a way to get away from that situation, so they may have been quicker. But you will be surprised, especially when your gecko is young and getting used to you, that they can move very quickly. In regards to this question, I only really have Diego to refer to. And I have to say that throughout the year, I rarely see any change in behaviour. I've got to say, females seem to be a lot more temperamental. So, especially when it comes to food, Diego will never refuse a meal. But I find that sometimes the females will just, I don't know, they just all seem to go through a certain stage where they just, I don't want any food anymore. Diego's never like that. A behaviour you might notice is scent marking, and this is sort of where the male will rub around the base of his tail, all around his tank. This is especially noticeable when they've just moved into a new tank, or if you just cleaned the tank. But interestingly, I did read that disinfecting a male's tank can actually be a bit stressful on a male, because suddenly all of his marks and his territory are just gone. And I definitely see this whenever I've had to clean out Diego, because I didn't know this before, but whenever I've cleaned out Diego, he is on a frenzy to go marking his territory all over again. Okay, all I do with this is I put some tap water in a glass and leave it for at least 24 hours. Subsequently, you can go ahead and just buy bottled water. But I also like to say in this section, because I've heard about this stuff, don't bother with the liquid calcium or vitamins to put in the water, unless a vet says specifically your gecko needs this because it's really ill or something. These are really just, Not good. Don't bother with them.